On December 7, 1941, Japan made a choice that echoed through history. But it wasn't the decision you think. 6 carriers, 2 battleships, the most powerful strike force ever assembled, 353 aircraft, launching into the dawn in complete terrifying silence. At Opana Point, radar operators spotted a massive incoming blip. They were told to ignore it. It was a fatal mistake. In Washington, diplomats frantically decoded a declaration of war, but time ran out. 7:48 a.m. The first bombs fall. Battleship Row erupts in flames. Then the Arizona. An armor-piercing bomb obliterates her forward magazine. Torpedoes ripped through the water, tearing the USS Oklahoma wide open. 1,177 men lost their lives in a matter of seconds. 8 battleships hit. 188 aircraft completely destroyed on the ground. Over 2,400 Americans killed in under 2 devastating hours. Aboard the Akagi, Admiral Nagumo watched the smoke rise on the horizon. His returning pilots brought reports of absolute catastrophic devastation. Nagumo's top commanders vigorously demanded a 3rd wave to finish the job. But one terrifying question remained. Where were the American carriers? Radio operators strained to hear signals, but the airwaves were dead. He stared at the empty horizon, terrified of a hidden American ambush. Meanwhile, the real targets sat untouched on the lush Hawaiian hills. 4.5 million barrels of highly exposed fuel oil. The massive dry docks and machine shops were also completely ignored. Even the submarine base was spared from the devastation. The very infrastructure needed to rebuild a crippled navy was perfectly intact. Admiral Nimitz later stated, "This oversight saved America 2 full years." Nagumo weighed his options, and he said no to a 3rd wave. First, the missing carriers. Second, the newly awakened anti-aircraft fire. The 2nd wave had already taken heavy losses from furious American guns. Third, fuel. Lingering meant his own massive fleet might run dry. Fourth, the mission felt complete. He ordered the fleet to turn home. The fleet withdrew. The 3rd wave was officially canceled. Admiral Yamamoto received the news and called it a devastating mistake. Because the facility survived, Pearl Harbor never went dark. Thanks to the untouched fuel, American destroyers were hunting within days. Thanks to the dry docks, heavily damaged ships had a place to heal. The USS Yorktown was miraculously patched together in just 3 days. Operating out of Pearl Harbor, code breakers cracked Japan's next major move. And those missing carriers? Already armed and underway in the Pacific. Within months, American bombers launched from those decks to strike Tokyo. 6 months later, America ambushed Japan's carrier fleet at Midway. American dive bombers plunged from the sky, sinking 4 Japanese carriers in minutes, including Nagumo's flagship. Japan lost its naval supremacy in a single afternoon. The elite pilots who struck Pearl Harbor went down with their burning ships. The arithmetic of total war was brutally, unforgivingly absolute. While Japan bled, America's untouched industrial might built new ships monthly. The base Nagumo spared became the fortress that crushed his empire. Every major Pacific offensive was launched directly out of Pearl Harbor. An unstoppable armada sailing from the very harbor Japan failed to finish. History rarely turns on battles alone. It turns on a single man choosing caution over completion.